3 terrorists with explosives had infiltrated LAX airport. They thought they had planned the perfect attack. But there was one thing they didn't know. The quiet security guard they'd been watching for weeks wasn't just any ordinary airport employee. Mike Thompson was the FBI agent who had prevented 9/11's second wave. And today, he was about to prove that some heroes never really retire. Welcome to the Untold Stories. Before we dive into this incredible tale of vigilance, instinct, and split-second heroism, tell me in the comments, what city are you watching from today? And if you believe true guardians never stop protecting, hit that subscribe button. Because this story will show you that heroes hide in the most ordinary places. Mike Thompson had been working airport security at LAX for 12 years. At 58 years old, he looked exactly like what people expected. Slightly overweight, graying hair, tired eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. Most passengers barely noticed him. His colleagues knew him as reliable but quiet. What they didn't know was that those tired eyes were constantly scanning, analyzing, searching for threats. Because Mike wasn't just any security guard. He was former FBI counterterrorism, with 25 years of experience preventing attacks that would have killed thousands. But that was his old life, his classified life, his forgotten life. Until today, when his past would catch up with him in the most dangerous way possible. Special Agent Michael Thompson was legendary within the FBI. From 1995 to 2009, he'd prevented 17 planned terrorist attacks and saved thousands of lives that would never know his name existed. His specialty was behavioral analysis, reading people, understanding their intentions before they acted. Mike could spot a potential threat from across a crowded room just by watching how someone walked, how they held their shoulders, how their eyes moved. It was a gift that made him the Bureau's most valuable counterterrorism asset. But in 2009, everything changed. Mike had infiltrated a terrorist cell, planning a massive follow-up to 9/11's multiple airports. Coordinated timing designed to cripple American aviation forever. When the day came, Mike triggered the arrests himself. The attack was stopped. Hundreds of lives were saved. But during the final arrest, Mike's cover was blown. The terrorist organization put a price on his head, not just him, but his family. His wife Sarah, his daughter Emma. The stress broke their marriage. Sarah filed for divorce, took Emma, and disappeared into witness protection without him. Mike was left alone with his nightmares. That's how he ended up at LAX, not because he couldn't do anything else, but because airports felt like home. The security protocols, the constant vigilance, the knowledge that he was protecting people, it gave his life meaning. For 12 years, he'd been just another security guard. Until this Tuesday morning, Mike's experienced eye immediately noticed something different. 3 men had entered at different times, through different gates. They were acting like they didn't know each other. But Mike could read their body language. They'd had the same training. They carried the same tension. And they were all noting security cameras. The first man looked like a businessman, but his shoes were too new, never worn. His briefcase was expensive but empty. The second man was a young backpacker, but his backpack was too heavy, and he kept checking his watch like someone coordinating. The third man looked military, but too tense, with something cylindrical in his pocket. Mike reached for his radio. Janet, suspicious activity in Terminal 4. 3 individuals, coordinated movement. His supervisor's voice crackled back. Mike, again? You said the same thing last week. This time is different. Call the FBI. We can't call the FBI for every suspicious passenger. But Mike didn't wait. His 25 years of experience told him exactly what this was. A coordinated attack, triangle formation. Maximum damage, minimum escape time. He'd seen this before in Atlanta, in Denver. Both times he'd stopped it at the last second. Today would be no different. But before I tell you how Mike stopped them, let me ask, have you ever had a gut feeling that saved your life? Drop your story in the comments. And if you're enjoying this story of hidden heroes, smash that like button. It really helps us share more untold stories like this. Mike couldn't wait any longer. Janet, he shouted into his radio. Evacuate TSA immediately. Bomb alert. Mike, what are you? Now, that's an order. The authority in Mike's voice was pure FBI. Janet asked no questions and immediately sounded the alarm. The terminal erupted in chaos. People ran in panic. But Mike stayed calm. This was his domain. First target. Gate A. Mike sprinted toward the businessman, who panicked when he heard the alarm. The man was frantically trying to activate his timing device when Mike tackled him to the ground. Bomb squad to Gate A, Mike shouted, pinning the man down. But there were two more. Mike ran toward Gate B, where the backpacker was trying to escape. Mike caught him at the restroom entrance. This one was inexperienced, panicked. Second bomb at Gate B, he radioed. Backpack under seat. But the third man was the most dangerous. At the central checkpoint, the military-looking man had a remote control to detonate the other bombs. When he saw Mike approaching, his eyes widened with recognition. FBI agent Michael Thompson, he said with a cold smile. We've been looking for you since 2009. Mike's blood froze. This wasn't random. It was personal. This whole operation is for me. You ruined many of our operations, Thompson. Now it's revenge time. The man raised the remote. Mike lunged forward. They crashed to the ground, the remote shattering into pieces. Too late, the terrorist whispered. They're programmed. 30 seconds until detonation. Mike's mind raced. 2 bombs, hundreds of people still evacuating. 25 seconds. All areas evacuate now. He shouted into his radio. 15 seconds. Mike ran toward the largest crowd still near Gate A. 10 seconds. Get down, he yelled. 5 seconds. Mike threw himself to the ground. The explosion shook Terminal 4. Windows cracked, ceiling panels fell, smoke filled the air. But Mike had calculated correctly, minimal casualties. Mike stood up, ears ringing but alive. He'd caught all 3 terrorists. The bombs were small, designed for panic rather than destruction. Most importantly, his quick thinking had saved hundreds of lives. Mike! Janet ran over. Are you okay? I'm fine. The job is done. The next day, the story was everywhere. Retired FBI agent prevents airport attack. Secret hero saves hundreds. Mike hated the attention. He just wanted to do his job. But then something unexpected happened. A knock at his door. When he opened it, he saw a young woman with eyes just like his. Dad? Emma, his daughter, was crying. I saw you on TV. What you did yesterday. I realized how much I missed you. Mike hugged her for the first time in 15 years. Emma, I'm so sorry. Daddy, you protected everyone. I'm so proud. Mom died 2 years ago, but she forgave you. She was proud too. For the first time in 15 years, Mike cried. Real tears. Not from pain, but from healing. His daughter was back. His family was healing. But Emma had more to say. Dad, I want you to know something. I became a social worker because of you. I wanted to help people, just like you did. All these years, I thought you abandoned us. But watching the news yesterday, seeing how you risked everything to save strangers... I understood. You didn't abandon us. You were protecting everyone, including us. And now I want to follow in your footsteps. Mike's heart swelled with pride and pain. 3 days later, FBI Director Karen Williams called. Mike, we need you back, not just as a consultant. We need you leading a new task force, airport security specialists. People like you, who can spot threats others miss. Mike looked at Emma, who nodded encouragingly. I'll think about it. But Mike didn't need to think long. That evening, Watching the news about another prevented attack in Chicago, he realized something. Retirement wasn't about age, it was about choice. And he chose to serve. "Corinne," he called back, "I'm in. But I have one condition. I want to train the next generation." 6 months later, the FBI Counterterrorism Training Center had a new program, the Thompson Method, behavioral analysis techniques taught by the man who'd prevented more attacks than anyone in FBI history. Mike stood before a class of young agents, sharing his knowledge, his experience, his wisdom. "The most dangerous enemies," Mike told his students, "are the ones who look like everyone else. They're not movie villains with scars and evil laughs. They're ordinary people with extraordinary hatred. Your job is to see what others can't see. To be suspicious when everyone else is comfortable." Emma kept her promise too. She joined the FBI Academy, inspired by her father's story. "I want to be like you, Dad," she said. "Not the agent who works alone, but the one who brings people together." Mike smiled. His daughter was going to be better than he ever was. 1 year after the LAX incident, Mike returned to Terminal 4 for a ceremony. The small plaque had been replaced with something bigger. The Michael Thompson Security Center, in honor of the agent who proved that heroes come in all forms, and vigilance never sleeps. Standing there, surrounded by his FBI colleagues, his daughter Emma in her new agent uniform, and Janet from his old security team, Mike realized something profound. He'd spent 15 years hiding from his past, but his past had always been part of who he was meant to be. As planes took off and landed around them, as families hugged and travelers rushed to catch flights, Mike watched it all with the same eyes that had saved hundreds of lives. But now those eyes weren't tired. They were purposeful. They were home. "You know what the best part is?" Emma asked, standing beside her father. "All these people walking by, living their normal lives, have no idea that the reason they're safe is because someone like you is always watching." Mike smiled. "That's exactly how it should be, because that's what real heroes do. They don't wear capes or seek fame. They don't announce their presence or demand recognition. They just show up, do the work, and keep people safe. They blend into crowds while keeping those crowds protected." Mike Thompson's story teaches us that heroism isn't about the moment you save the day. It's about the choice you make every single day to be ready for that moment. It's about staying alert when everyone else relaxes. It's about caring for strangers like their family. So the next time you're at an airport, look around. That quiet security guard might be more than they seem. That person checking IDs might have saved more lives than you'll ever know. Heroes are everywhere, hiding in plain sight, keeping us safe. Now I want to ask you something. Have you ever encountered someone who seemed ordinary, but turned out to be extraordinary? Maybe a teacher, a neighbor, a coworker who had an incredible hidden story? Share those stories in the comments. We absolutely love reading about unsung heroes. And if Mike Thompson's story inspired you, if it made you think differently about the quiet people around you, then smash that like button. It truly helps us reach more people with these incredible untold stories. Every like, every comment, every share helps us honor heroes like Mike. Don't forget to subscribe to the Untold Stories and ring that notification bell, because we publish amazing stories like this every single week. Stories of hidden heroes, forgotten legends, and ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Because here at the Untold Stories, we believe that every hero deserves to be remembered. Every sacrifice deserves recognition, and every story of courage deserves to be told. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring. And thank you for helping us keep these incredible stories alive. See you in the next story.